Yo, what up, family? You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time. I shouldn't have left you without some dope content to refer back to. Step two, the step two. Shout out to the God MC for that verse, the R. But yeah, man, A Black, one half of the Storm Warner team, definitely in the building for this ABLAKK Thought. Um, Start this off with, what I'm saying, May 16th. It's my hero's Earth Day. Earth Strong, my pops, who is no longer with us, but definitely gonna send one up to my father, my hero, my guy. You know what I'm saying? Also want to give us another shout out to my youngest Dunny, my son, Kafre, who received his first college football offer this past week. So, definitely happy about that. You know what I'm saying? It's been a long time coming. You know what I'm saying? He worked hard for it. He deserved it. He's super, super happy. So, I'm proud of him. You know what I'm saying? Proud of the young man. He put forth that work. You know what I'm saying? And it paid off. And he probably has some more coming down the pipe. So hold on. Without a dope beat to step two. Y'all see the Miami herd? Always repping my Canes, baby. Coach Mario, keep doing your thing. The rest of the staff, keep doing your thing. But yeah, it's been a minute, family. You know what I'm saying? It's been a minute. Life been lifing over here for your boy A Black. You know what I'm saying? But I've been following. You just saying heard from us. You know what I'm saying? But definitely liking some of the moves. I'm liking that we retained Jefferson. Well, pretty much promoted him to be the corners coach, and that's a good thing. To show that we will promote from within. You know what I mean? You work hard, you develop, you go about your business, and you will get promoted. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad. Excuse me. I'm glad Coach Mario also, he did that. You know what I'm saying? Like how much appear on screen. All right. So I'm glad that he did that. You know what I'm saying? And then to show other coaches that are in the same position that Jefferson was last year, that you continue to go about your business, and if a spot come open, and if you're worthy or you're qualified, I won't say worthy, but qualified for the job, then coach will give it to you. You know what I'm saying? Coach will promote you. So that's always a good thing, right? But I was watching the replay of who's the young man? Matthews. I was watching his commitment show, and I was like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? You could go where you want to go. That's great, right? You could go where you want to go. But the way he went about it, I was like, you might want to, you could be excited. You could be excited because you're supposed to. It's a big moment. Be excited. Enjoy the moment. You know what I'm saying? Enjoy it. But I'm thinking, like, was it a little overkill? Or maybe I'm tripping. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm tripping. But was it a little overkill? But I mean, look, I ain't gonna hate on the brother. You know what I'm saying? Go be great. You know what I'm saying? I mean, go be great. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna knock the young man. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you forever. It was a little over the top. You know what I'm saying? It was definitely a little over the top, and I was just like, whoa. But I'm not gonna ridicule the young man. You know what I'm saying? For not coming to Miami. I've never done that. I'm just not who I am. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not gonna do it. He chose what he chose. I would prefer him to, I don't know, maybe tone the antics down a little bit, because you never know. you get to Texas A&M and it's not what it's cracked out to be, and then you're gonna want to come home. You know what I'm saying? So you never want to burn a bridge in this profession. You know what I'm saying? Just in life, you never want to burn a bridge, right? You never want to do that. Whole staff is coming back. You know, I haven't really talked about the Darian Mensah. I think that's a great pickup. A player that nobody saw coming, saw that happening. In my opinion, no one saw that happen. If they did, I don't know. Maybe they lying because to me, no one thought about that. Now I wanted him the year that we got before we got Beck. I wanted Darian Mensah, but he went to Duke. But I wanted him last year, whatever. But we got him now, right? So I think he can go for like 4 Gs and maybe like 40 touchdowns, man. I really think he can be a Heisman Trophy, not candidate, but Heisman Trophy winner. Honestly, he should be the second quarterback in the last 2 years from Miami to be in the Heisman running and winning. Like, hands down, Cam Ward was the best player in college football that year when they gave it to Travis Hunter, right? They want to knock Cam for the 2 losses, but we clearly know it wasn't Cam's play why we lost them games, right? But Colorado had how many losses that year? 4 losses? 4 losses. I think Travis Hunter didn't play in 2 games that year, right? And he still got the Heisman. How? He wasn't even the best DB in the country. He didn't even win the Thorpe Award. He didn't win the Thorpe Award that year, right? Cam Ward was the best player in college that year. So, but, I ain't going to cry over spilled milk. We know what it is. You know what I'm saying? We know what it do. But moving forward, we got Darian Mensah. He can potentially be another Heisman Trophy winning quarterback at the University of Miami. And guess what? If Carson Beck, who went, I think, the second round, third round, could potentially start for the Cardinals, and then Darian Mensah could be a first-round pick, right? That's 3 quarterbacks in a row. We went first round, second round, first round. Kind of that what's the word I'm looking for, fellas? That stigma or that word that's out there, Mario being a quarterback killer. He dismissed all of that. He like that should not come up when you talk about Mario anymore. Oh, he's a quarterback killer. Because look at his past 3 quarterbacks. Ward, Beck, Mensah. Not to mention Justin Herbert. And Brown played pretty damn good for him out Oregon. So I don't get this notion where he was a quarterback killer. I don't get it. I know what he is. He's a program saver and a program builder. You know what I'm saying? And he's a recruiting juggernaut. You feel me? I can say that about my coach. So look, ready. I'm ready. Football season is here. I'm gonna have 2 sons in college. You know what I'm saying? One a freshman, one gonna be a redshirt freshman who got a potential to start this year on defense. Had a hell of a spring game. Went up there, he was balling. You know what I'm saying? Got a new DC. Where he came from, their defense was nice, only giving up maybe like 15 points a game. Far cry from what their defense was giving up last year. So definitely looking forward to seeing that. Their defense is similar to Miami's defense as far as scheme-wise and how they use his position, the nickel, the spur position. Similar to how we use our nickels, Keontae Scott and so forth and so on. So I'm looking forward to a big year from the team and from my son. You know what I'm saying? I really think Western Carolina could make the FCS playoffs this year. You know what I'm saying? As long as they handle their business on the field. I'm looking forward to my younger son actually getting to college and, getting to, live out his dream of being a college running back and, listening to, taking heed to all the life lessons and things that I've told him and taught him about the game. And when you get to that level, how it's a business now, you know what I'm saying? How it's a business and everything. Man, just reading a lot of different things, reading a lot of different things about the team and about certain players, you know, and everybody got their opinion. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got their opinion. One thing I'm not gonna do. One thing I'm not gonna do. I'm never gonna call. I'm never gonna call nobody out for their opinion. Call them dumb or call them they don't know football or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because we have a difference of opinion. Y'all know my phrase. I don't agree to disagree. Either you're right or you're wrong. You know what I'm saying? Point blank. Period. You know what I'm saying? But you know, we're gonna be young up front in the O line, but I'm not worried about that because we got two of the best O line coaches in the country. You know what I'm saying? Coach Mario and Coach Mirabal. So I'm not worried about that. I think the defense got a capability of being better than it was last year. You know what I'm saying? They got a whole full year in the system. Yeah, we lose Messidor and Bain. We lose Messidor and Bain. But the young men that we brought in and the ones that was already here are fully capable of picking up that slack and balling out. And that's another thing. Like, how can you not want to come play DN or D line for University of Miami? They had 2 first rounders. You know what I'm saying? I think Messidor went a little lower than he should have went. You know what I'm saying? He led the team in sacks. And you gotta understand, to me, I think Messidor was the engine, one of the engines to that defense. Because look how it looked when he was out. And even when he came back at SMU, he wasn't fully healthy. You know what I'm saying? But when he got back and he was fully healthy, that D-line looked a lot different with number 3 on that other side of number 4. You know what I'm saying? And big shout out to Moten. Moten had a tremendous year this past season that just passed. You know what I'm saying? He had a great year. And I'm looking forward to him building upon that and being a force in the middle, along with Justin Scott and the rest of them young dudes. So I think the defense got the capability of being just as good, if not better, than it was last year. Secondary is straight. I want to see what the linebackers look like. I know Torrey coming back, but a couple other dudes are young or whatever. What's his name? Chase Smith, fully healthy. So I guess this is a summer like for him and Torrey where they're not rehabbing. They're working on their craft. So that's very important. You know what I'm saying? Where you're not really rehabbing. You get to work on your craft. You know what I'm saying? Specific position drills to get you better at. So that's definitely a good thing. I had so much I wanted to talk about. This ABLAKK Thought. It wasn't going to be all about football. I was going to be all over the place. Yeah. Oh, that's definitely in the spirit of Jean-Jacques Dessalines. If y'all seen the thumbnail picture, you know what I'm saying? That's the IAT flag, black and red before it got changed to blue. You know what I'm saying? That's the spirit that I'm coming with. You know what I'm saying? That's the spirit I'm coming with. Them brothers and sisters over there on AT, they got that warrior spirit. You know what I'm saying? They got that warrior spirit, which, them brothers and sisters over there in IAT with African descent, right? With African descent, they got that warrior spirit. And I love them for that. You know what I'm saying? I love them for that. I remember when I was having surgery about 5, 6, maybe longer than that years ago. And you know how they about to put you under, so you got the anesthesia. And sometimes they ask you questions, tell you to count backwards and then you fall asleep. So this particular time they was asking me, they was like, so where you want to go? Where you want to go on vacation? You know what I'm saying? Where you want to go? You want to go to you want to go to the Bahamas, Jamaica? Where you want to go? Where you want to go? And I was like, nah, I want to go to Haiti. And then I was out. That's the last thing. That was the last thing that I said. And I don't know why I said it. At the time, I didn't know why I said it, but I know why I said it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm drawn to that fight. You know what I'm saying? I'm drawn to that spirit over there. And Jean-Jacques Dessalines and, Boukman Duddy. You know what I'm saying? Fatima. I'm drawn to that spirit. You know what I'm saying? Them brothers and sisters over there, yeah, they paved the way for a lot. especially over here in the Western part of the world. They pay the way, you know. And you notice I call them brothers and sisters from Haiti. I don't say Haitians. You know, I may say the brothers and sisters from Jamaica. You know, because I just don't want to get into that separatism type of thing. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, if we do got a brother from Haiti in the car and a brother from Jamaica in the car and I'm in the car or whatever, or anything, we walking down the street, you know, they're not gonna stop and say, "Hey, you were born, you're Haitian, so you can go. Oh, you're Jamaican, you can go, but you gotta stay." Nah, they ain't doing that. They questioning him and myself, not because of where we come from, because where we were born, but because we all look the same. You know what I'm saying? Because we brothers, because we black, of African descent, period. So I don't get into the, yeah, yo, I'm Jamaican. Yeah, I'm Haitian. Yeah, I know that. I know that's your country of origin, where you were born or where your people were from. You know what I'm saying? I get that. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? We could, like when I was in Ghana, there was cats at Ghana who me and him could have been brothers. Or I was over there and I met a couple sisters and they resembled and looked like a couple sisters that I knew back here in the States. You know what I'm saying? Only thing that separates us is a body of water. You know what I'm saying? We come from the same tree, just different roots. You feel me? Same tree, just different roots. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's a boat stop. You know what I'm saying? Your boat stopped in Jamaica. Your boat stopped in Haiti. Your boat stopped in Cuba. My boat stopped here. You know, your boat stopped in Brazil, Bahamas. You know what I'm saying? You know, things like that. You know, so South America, you know, Argentina, Peru, Colombia, you know, just the boat stop. That's it. That's the difference. But the skin looks the same. It's just the language, you know, just the language that we speak. You know what I mean? Like even here in the States, all hoods are the same. All hoods are the same. Only thing different is the language. You know what I'm saying? Only thing different is the language. You know what I mean? That's it. That's the only thing different is the slang. That's the only thing that separates us is the slang. That's it. You know what I mean? So, you know, so that's where I'm at with that. So, you know, I talk to my, you know, one of my brother, you know, live in Florida, you know, live in Miami, my man, Negus, you know what I'm saying? He knows he's Haiti, you know, talk to my man Pedro, you know, you wouldn't know it, but he's Cuban. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. It is what it is, but I love all my people. I love my peoples. You know what I'm saying? But let me get to some of these comments. Yeah, definitely, bro. Definitely been a long time. It's been a long time. You know, life been lifing, man. You know what I'm saying? Family's good. My son, nope, he graduated in February, so he was an early graduate. You know what I'm saying? So he's gonna be going to college this summer. So I'm gonna have both my boys in school. I'm gonna be a empty nester, you know, and you know, just thinking about that, you know what I'm saying? Just thinking about that made me, you know, I lost a family member recently, you know what I'm saying? Lost my best friend, you know, my dog Zulu. You know, I came home one day and he was laid out on the floor, you know what I'm saying? Passed away, you know what I'm saying? That shit crushed me. Now it just hurts thinking about it, you know? He was my emotional support animal, you know what I'm saying? And just like his pops, he was loyal. And I'm loyal. And I think I'm loyal to a fault. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm loyal to a fault. You know what I mean? You know, throughout, you know, my years of doing YouTube stuff and just doing other things, I've been loyal to people who aren't loyal to me, or quick to cut their loyalty, or they were never loyal to me, or whatever, right? And you know, it takes certain things, you know, it takes certain things to happen for you to realize that, you know what I'm saying? You know, little things happen, but it's that one thing that somebody may do and you be like, oh, got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just thinking of Zulu, right? You know what I'm saying? He was my registered emotional support animal. You know what I'm saying? And it was a cat who got a dog. You know, he has a dog, and he didn't know nothing about that. So I put him on to it. You know what I'm saying? I put him on. You know, I sent them the information immediately. I put him on to it. You know what I'm saying? You know, but then when it was time for him to do something for me, you know what I'm saying? You know, make some bread or whatever. He turned on me. You know, he started acting funny. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? He started acting real funny, you know, and shit like that. You know what I mean? And I realized I said, that cat ain't loyal. You know, so that cat is in it for whatever he can get. And once he gets what he wants, you know, fuck everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Well, me anyway. You know what I'm saying? Me in particular. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, maybe because I don't speak Spanish or whatever. I don't know. But I realized that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, when he needed that, it was nothing. I got you. Boom. Okay, boom. Here's the information. Pow. Text it off the rip. Boom. As soon as he said it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But then when I'm asking about that other thing, like, oh man, you know, you gotta wait, this, that, and third. You know, I'm trying to just being real funny. So, you know, like I said, I'm loyal to a fault. You know what I'm saying? I'm loyal to a fault. But once you show me that you ain't loyal, then I'm not loyal. And I ran into a lot of good people doing this. A lot of good people doing this. Ran into a couple shady, shiesty cats too. You know what I'm saying? You know? But like my pops used to always tell me, he's like, Magic, you can't expect people to do what you do or be who you are. And he was right. You know what I'm saying? He was right. You know what I mean? But I stand on that. Like, yo, I gave information. So every time you look at your dog, homie, every time you take your dog into the grocery store or you put that vest on your dog that says emotional support animal, thank Black for that. You got me to thank for that because you knew nothing about that. You got me to thank for that. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's cool. You didn't want to put me down. You didn't want to give me that information so I can, but it's cool, bro. No hard feelings. You good. You good. I see you for what you are now. I see you for what you are, you know. And it's, you know, man, let me tell y'all, man. I wish some of y'all could, yeah, you know, cats be making excuses for, you know, cats make excuses for being in possession of a Confederate flag. So they won't make excuses that it was given to them. But if you know what it means, why you still have it in your possession? Why you still rocking with it? Why you still rocking with it? So I stopped talking to that individual in certain platforms. In certain platforms. Word? Hey, I Max, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. I miss my dog Zulu, miss him daily. You know what I'm saying? At night, sometimes I still hear him. You know what I'm saying? I swore I saw him maybe like a week ago walking in the living room. But yeah, man, it's like I said, it's gonna be ABLAKK like y'all ain't never seen before. You know what I mean? Because I'm grown. I mean, I'm a man. I stand on mine. You know, but if I do something for you, I don't do something for you because I want something in return. I do it out of the kindness, out of the kindness of my heart, right? But if you already say you're gonna do something for me, then as a man, I'm gonna hold you accountable and I'm gonna expect you to do that. But when you act funny, I step off. I step away. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good. Yo, B, you know who you are. You know who you are, so you get word back because you know maybe some of your little minions will run back and tell you, right? It's all good. It's all good. Don't sweat it, B. No hard feelings. But I just had to put that out so you know. So you know that I know that you've always acted funny towards me, about me, but you ain't say it to me, but you said it behind me. It's cool. It's all good, bro. All good. Moving on. Psh, moving on. Bow. So for years I was doing research, right? I was doing research on like a lot of different countries, you know, like Latin countries, Spanish speaking countries or whatever. Because, you know, when they talk about these countries, they don't talk about the African presence on those in them countries. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot more of African people of African descent in them countries than the census would tell you, and that's because of public shame. So they on the census they won't check African descent or anything of that nature. They will check other or Latino or white, right? So that's why the numbers are screwed. And I gotta find my notepad. You know what I'm saying? I was, and a couple of my brothers was helping me, Pedro and Negas, and I was, just fact checking, and I had it on a notepad. So my next show, hopefully I'll find it and I'll do it. And it will be a next show. It won't be 100 months from now. I'm gonna keep banging. I'm gonna keep hitting stuff all the way through the summer up into the season. You know what I'm saying? I need y'all to help our channel get to 5K. You know what I'm saying? We trying to get up there to get monetized and everything, so y'all can donate super chats and everything to help. You know what I'm saying? To help grow the channel. I'm also probably gonna be have a separate entity. The Protect the King process, and moving on to that, I'm gonna have a Protect the King format where it just talks about Black fatherhood and the importance of Black fathers, us doing, and being there, because we are statistically, they say, the most present pops, right? Statistically. So definitely doing a Protect the King podcast or a YouTube show. I'm also gonna have hopefully get my stuff together where I can shoot from my son's games and do a show from the game, Protect the King. And with that being said, if y'all do remember the video that went super viral last summer of me and my oldest son, Father's Day approaching. Let's start reposting that video. Let's make that thing go triple, quadruple platinum. In the words of the GOAT of MCs, Tupac Shakur. Let's make that thing go triple, quadruple platinum again. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a message that it wasn't a one-off. That message that I said, them words that I said to my son wasn't a one-off. You know what I'm saying? That's an everyday thing. We live that. We live it. And that's something that needs to be said. It's a message the fire should never die with that. Right? So I'm asking all y'all, my Storm Warning family, you know what I'm saying? The Discord family, Freddie and the rest of the crew, Al, you know what I'm saying? Wingo, Rob, Rasta, Goose, you know what I'm saying? All, Sniper, you know what I'm saying? 305, all of y'all cats, you know what I'm saying? Let's make this thing go super viral again on Father's Day. You know what I'm saying? Represent for the fathers, you know what I'm saying? Represent for all the fathers, you know what I'm saying? Who got sons or even daughters. It don't matter because it's prevalent. You know what I'm saying? It's a message that's, to me, should stand the test of time. And it's important that our children know that we love them, right? You know what I'm saying? No, especially us fathers, us as men. It's okay to get a little emotional when you're talking to your seed, when you're talking to them. You know what I'm saying? It don't make you less of a man. I ain't no punk. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no punk. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, those are my sons. So I can get emotional with them. They know. Like, yo, this is something we worked hard for. Long time coming. And to see you made it through all the trials and tribulations of what you've been through. You know what I'm saying? Coaches doubting you. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad I said that, because that's going to segue into my next thing. You know what I mean? It's funny how both my sons, they kind of had a similar career. Like I always tell my younger son that his Pop Warner career, right? When he was playing youth ball, his career was kind of better than his brother's because he won more. He won more. You know what I'm saying? My son teams weren't all that great. You know what I mean? We didn't have a bunch of talent, but it is what it is. So when Nassau went to high school at Archbishop Carroll for the first 2 years, all the coaches there except for one, maybe two, Coach Josh Morgan and maybe Coach Quick was kind of riding for Nassau. More so Josh, Coach Morgan. Coach Rob Harris, the head coach, is trying to shit on Nassau. You know what I'm saying? DB coach trying to shit on him. You know, all the other coaches trying to shit on him, right? His first year, you know what I mean? Then his sophomore year, they try to start somebody over him who shouldn't even have been on the field. Then once he got on the field and kept it, the defense looked a lot different. He didn't give up a touchdown all season at all, right? Didn't give up a touchdown all year. You know what I'm saying? Coach just shitting on him, right? Like I remember I sent his film out to, this was still in DC, he was going to Archbishop Carroll. I sent his film out to UNC Charlotte, right? I sent this tape out, everything to UNC Charlotte. What up, bro? What up, Wingo? I sent his film out to UNC Charlotte, right? Two weeks, maybe a week go by, and UNC Charlotte comes to the school. Now I want y'all to tell me, am I tripping? Is that a coincidence, or what? Like, am I tripping? If I'm tripping, this is like Black. Nah, you tripping. So UNC Charlotte comes up. Mind you, I sent his film out to them a week prior. They come up to the school. The head coach don't call Nassau down to see them. He calls two freshmen. One who was pretty good, the other one who was a pothead. And I'm like, that's done on purpose. He never called him down to talk to no schools. None. And maybe because he was mad because I didn't want to coach with him. Because he wanted me to coach. He asked me to coach, and I told him no. Right? I told him no. And this is a cat who wanted me, who thought I was going to stop being a father to my children. And Coach Morgan told him that. He said, if you expected him to stop being a father to his son, then you wrong. That's a battle you're going to lose every day. Period. Right? So, boom. So it was already in the work before the season even over, and I was like, yo, we out. I was telling Max, like, bro, we gone. We out of here. I was talking to Max, like, Max used to call me, like, every Saturday after the game. Boom. I'm like, yo, we out. Boom. They was doing the same thing to Caffrey on the JV squad, trying to jerk him. Same shit. You know what I mean? Same thing. Now we get down here to Charlotte. You know, we at Mallard Creek. You know what I'm saying? Boom. First game of the season, 2 pick sixes, bang, bang. Right? Boom. Balling. DB coach. Another dude, another situation, just a dickhead. Couldn't stand him. Couldn't stand him. Senior year, same thing. Mind you, he didn't give up a touchdown all year his senior year. He gave up one pass for like 20 yards, and that was against Grayson. And then he didn't give up a catch the rest of the game against Grayson. And he gave up one catch against Grayson. One against Grayson for like 20 yards. And that was it. Everything else was shut down. To the point where after the game, the coaches from Grayson was like, yo, you are a dog. They was like, yo, what year are you? If he was a junior, guaranteed his senior year, it possibly could have been played in Georgia. Then they dicking my younger son again. So after Nassau, boom. Mind you, Mallard Creek didn't get Nas that offer for Western Carolina. Nas got that on his own when he went to their camp and he blazed that 4.340. Boom, offer. So head coach didn't do jack for him. Period. Low key used to hate on him behind his back. It is what it is. You know, people will be like, well, I'm never gonna hurt the program, but what did the program do for me? What did the program do for my sons? I'm loyal to my sons, first and foremost. Let's get it straight. I'm loyal to them. But what did the program do for them? They do nothing for them. So why should I be loyal to the program if the program wasn't loyal to me? Right? Right. So now, moving in, he graduates. Now, Caffrey coming up. The coach saying, yeah, man, you got opportunity to make a mark, to be our power back. This, that, and the third. He killing it in spring, doing well, this, that, and the third. Right after they go on it's a break they go on where they can't practice and they come back. Now they want to talk about playing him, having him play tight end. Now, all y'all that's in the chat, that was in the chat, when you come back and rewatch it, y'all tell me anywhere in college where there's a 5'8" tight end or H-back. And put in the comments how many at any level, D3, 2, 1, 1A, NAIA, JUCO, prep school, you tell me where there's a 5'8" H-back or tight end. Tell me. So we bounce. And we go to another school, right? And we go to exactly none. So then we go to another school, right? Then the running back coach at Creek was like, oh, yeah, man, I've been watching you. You look good. Mind you, this is a cat who was dogging him while he was there. But now he gone. You talking about, oh, yeah, man, you look good. This, that, and the third. Like, yeah. I wish we still had you. You had him, right? You just had him on your squad. You had him. But now that you see he gone, and you see he will provide something on your team that your backs that you currently got don't provide. Now you saying, man, I wish we still had you. You had him. All you had to do is show some love and stop trying to dog him. You know what I'm saying? And stop trying to dog him. That's why I say, football ain't what it was. A lot of times these coaches, it's not about the players no more. It's about these coaches and their egos. You know what I'm saying? From youth, when I say youth, I'm talking Pop Warner, AYF to high school. Some of these high school coaches is all about them. It ain't about the player. It's about ego. And then some of these coaches, they will dog out a child or talk bad about a child or put something on a child that's not even true. It's never too late to say that a player was right? No matter. It's never too late to go up to that player and say, you know what? You were right. Now, you may say that to some other players or to your up-and-coming team and be like, yo, I'm going to give y'all an example of what I'm talking about. So it was a game, Nassau senior year, we was playing Huff. One of the 2 times we played them, and they beat us. So Nassau was pissed, came to the sideline, was like, yo, you talk about all this leadership, and ain't nobody playing hard. They all playing like bitches. Da-da-da-da. I'm the da-da-da. So the coach, he was mad. Whatever. But then he's telling other adults a year later about that situation, saying how mad he was. But then he says, but you know what? Nas was right. Nas was the only one that was playing hard the whole game. So what you mad about? And you're telling your teams now about that. So why are you mad? But why won't you go tell him that? Like, you know what, Nas, you were right. You was absolutely right. Right? Ain't nothing wrong with that. Like my pops always tell me, yo, I don't care if you in a room full of 100 people. Never be afraid of being right and speaking your mind. Period. And as a man, it's okay to go back and say, hey, you remember this moment when you said X, Y, and Z? I was wrong. You was right in the moment to say that because you were playing hard. You were out there balling. But nah. And at this point, it's like, yo, it is what it is. Like I speak from experience. Like some people experience isn't my experience. So they may just be mad because of playing time because they think their child should play and their child ain't ready to play. Like my child was a starter, right? My child was a starter. My child was one of the better players on the team to the point where I'm going to tell you, look, he was a kick returner. He returned it for a touchdown one. He always put us in good field position from punts, right? From punts. Always put us in good field position. Always. Do you know they gave the special team award to the punter? To the punter? Like, that just goes to show you, like, they just didn't rock with him. But after the fact, want to show him all this love. So I'm like, why be loyal to that program? For me. You know what I'm saying? Like, why do I got to be loyal to that when you ain't loyal to me or loyal to mine? I don't care if you ain't loyal to me because I don't play, but my boys play. You know what I'm saying? show love and loyalty to them. You know what I'm saying? Because they're loyal. And I think they get that from me. Like I just explained to y'all, how I was loyal, how an individual wanted, information to get their dog to be an emotional support animal, and I gave it right off the rip. But when it came time that he was knowledgeable with, that he said he was gonna look out for me and hook me up, and he started acting funny and didn't do it, that's when I cut. That's when I'm like, yeah, I can't be loyal to that person. Same thing. But back to the coaches, like parents, like, yo, do your due diligence. Speak to other parents, but speak to parents whose children are starters. Speak to parents whose children are starters, and what their grievances are. Because those are going to be the valid ones, because their children play, because they start. So it's gonna be valid, more valid than the player who doesn't play. Not saying that it's not valid. Let me rephrase that. Not to say that just because the player doesn't play that the parent's point ain't valid, because it still could be valid, because guess what? Their child could be fully capable and good enough to play, but the coach just ain't playing them for whatever reason. So yeah, I'm gonna rephrase that. I'm gonna rephrase it. Their point is still valid. It's definitely valid. It's definitely valid. But guess what? If more than one are saying it, can't be a lie. And if they've been saying it for years, it cannot not be true. If they've been saying it for years, it's time for you to look into that, right? Or a lot of these coaches don't understand the players got more control. The players don't have to stay at your school. The players can bounce. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, loyalty can always backfire on you. You know, if you're loyal to a person and they do something to jeopardize that loyalty, yeah. But once you see that, that's when you gotta stop being loyal to those individuals. You know what I'm saying? That's when you stop being loyal to those individuals. But when they get to college, they're benched, they get upset and transfer instead of waiting their turn. Yeah, well, my son set the bench all year, except for the last 4 games because they needed him. But he's different. You know what I'm saying? He was raised different, But with this statement right here, so I ask you, but what if you know you're fully capable of playing and they ain't playing you for some without reason? What if you're fully capable of playing that you should be playing, but they're not playing you? Then what? Are you going to sit there and wait your turn when you know you could be contributing? When you dominate in practice? Are you just going to sit there when you dominate in practice, if you dominate the starting offense, or you dominate in the starting defense, and you're not playing? Are you staying, or are you going where you're going to get an opportunity? That's the dilemma you in. Like, for us, right? We could have stayed in DC. Like I said, my son was a starter, and I think, honestly, my younger son would have probably got a fair shake at his old high school than he did at Creek. But I didn't leave because I left because of integrity. See, I left because I felt the head coach didn't have no integrity. So I can't have my children playing for a coach who has no integrity. That's different. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I packed up and moved south, moved 6 hours away. I don't have no problem with doing that. You know what I'm saying? The question is, how do we know the player? What? How do we know the player did play for a couple of series? It's just that whatever he practiced didn't translate onto the field. Well, if you don't get an opportunity to show what you can do when the bullets fly, then how do you know? But if, like I said, if you're doing it in practice against the starting offense or the starting defense, then shouldn't you be allowed to show what you can do in a live game? If you're killing the defense, if you're getting 5 yards a clip, right? in practice against the starting D, don't you think you earned the opportunity to test your skill when the bullet's alive? I think so. I think so. As a coach, I'm gonna put you in the game. I want to see what you can do. Okay, you've been running, you've been getting busy against the defense. Let me see you get busy against that opponent D. Let me see. I'm gonna give you an opportunity. Now it's time for you to show up and show out. If you don't show up and show out, then don't mean I'm gonna not play you, because everybody has a bad game. You know what I'm saying? So that's the problem I have with your statement. Everybody has a bad game. So just because you have one bad game when the bullet's alive, don't mean you ain't capable of balling out. Just means, yo, for some odd reason, your shit wasn't clicking today. And it could be a number of reasons. The old line was getting whipped up front, so you ain't had no time to get busy, right? Could be that. You didn't get enough touches to get into a rhythm as a running back. There's a lot of different scenarios that can go in to a player not playing well. You know, just because you don't play well, that don't mean I'm a bench you. All right, so okay, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if he's getting a shot throughout the season, multiple series, but whatever they're practicing in his position is not translating to succeeding in the game. Okay, maybe, but that's not the case here. That's not the case here. You know what I'm saying? I feel you, but that's not the case here. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like, yo, you have to look out for you and yours. You feel me? You have, like, everybody deserves an opportunity, right? And that's what, and this is what coaches will say. You got to put it on tape. You got to show me what you can do in practice. Show me what you can do in practice. That's what coaches say. If y'all want to play, you have to earn playing time. And how do you earn playing time? You don't earn playing time in the game. You earn playing time in practice, in the weight room, in the classroom. So if you got a 3-point GPA and y'all was in the weight room and then in practice you're producing, that means you've earned an opportunity to get in the game. Period. Like, you don't overlook a sophomore because you're worried about the incoming freshman. Like, no. Like, yo, it's earned. Players earn playing time. Even the starters had to earn it. They had to go hard every day in practice. All positions are up for grabs. Mind you, like when we first got here, and when practice started, we went up there. They was getting ready to go to UNC Chapel Hill, University of North Carolina, for 7-on-7. And the head coach was going to take nines. First day there, didn't even practice. We just got there. Just got to practice. You know what I'm saying? I told him, nah, he ain't going. Take who's earned it. They've been here working out. Let them earn it. So he stayed back. He practiced with like the freshman and the sophomore for like a couple days. But then when they came back, they were like, nah, he varsity. Moved up and like that. Bow. Starting. I don't know who was supposed to be starting, but he took it and never relinquished it. He proved it in practice. He proved it during the 7-on-7 circuit when they started doing 7-on-7. He proved it, right? That's all I'm saying. If a player shows you what he can do in practice, then that player deserved and earned the right to show you what he can do in the game. Simple. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Because at some point, you have, as a coach, you got to stop saying you earn your playing time in practice. You got to stop saying that, because that's not true. Because now you're just blowing smoke. You're just blowing smoke. You know what I'm saying? Like we say, you just kicking tires. You ain't gonna buy the car. You just kicking tires. You BSing. That's all. And yeah, everybody has their favorites, but guess what? Your favorites aren't perfect. Your favorites aren't immune to making mistakes. So call them on it. That's going to make them a better player when you call them on their mistakes. You're not helping them out by not calling them out on their mistakes because you're afraid of hurting their feelings. So what? As a coach, I don't care if I hurt your feelings. I probably hurt my son's feelings several times. They know I don't care. I took my son out the game, put his ass on the bench. Sit right here. You ain't playing the way I know you can play. So until then, until I'm ready to put your ass back in the game, sit there and think about it. BTC, beside the coach, baby. Sit right here. I don't care about hurting your feelings. Play the game. Do what I expect you to do, what I know you can do as a player. And I treated all my players like that. That's why to this day, it ain't a player that I coach or a parent of a player that I coach who don't rock with me. Because they knew I was fair. They knew I was fair and they knew I was all about the children. I don't do stuff for clout. That's not who I am. It's not what I'm about. I love this game of football. It's not who I am, it's what I do. I love to coach. I love to take a young man who's okay and develop him to where he now has confidence in himself and in his game, where he can go out there and he feel he can perform against any and everybody. I love that part. And I don't want nothing from it. I've never been paid for all the players I've coached and trained and developed. I've never gotten paid. Because it wasn't about the money. It was about the work. It was about the work. It was about the development. And me seeing them achieve a goal and reach something that they didn't think they can do. It's never about the money for me. Never. It was about going out there and putting forth the work and teaching and developing. That's what it was about for me. Do you think also the issue is sometimes these elite level high school coaches tend to be selective on who they favor? No doubt. No doubt. 100% agree with that. Yeah, it's favoritism. It's favoritism. It's like you may have your favorite player, right? But he's getting cooked out there at DB. It just ain't his game. Right now, for whatever reason, his head ain't in it. He's getting baked out there. And it happens. It happens. You might want to sit him down, put that next guy in, see what that next guy can do. See if that next guy is ready to step up to the plate. That next guy is hungry. He been biting at the bit to get in. So when he get in, he may start balling. He may start showing you something. Now, after the game, now you go home as the coach, and now you sitting there, you feel like you got to deliver. Now you got a situation on your hand. You're like, yo, player B looked incredible tonight. When you go hang out with the coaches, whatever y'all do, and y'all talking about the game, you may say, God, hey, yo, what's the name? Show me something tonight. And his position coach may say, Coach, all due respect, he been showing you that every week in practice. You just ain't been playing them. Now the coach may feel like, yo, that other cat he loved that starter. What you gonna do? A real DC will figure it out. A real coach will figure it out. I'm not telling you to bench the starter off of one bad game. Nah, you don't do that, because then you may lose him. You don't know what he's built with. You don't know how he's gonna handle adversity. But nah, you start him, you let him play, boom, boom, boom. But you get that other guy reps, meaningful reps too. You know what I'm saying? Even if you may have to move him to nickel or something like that. But you get him reps because you've seen what he can do. You play him. But to answer your question, yeah, they do that. All coaches got favorites, bro. And if a coach tell you that, he lying. He lying. But it's how you handle how you treat your favorite. Do you treat them with gloves on, or is it gloves off? Are you digging in this? Are you digging in them to make them a better player and sending a message to the rest of the team like, yo, if I'm gonna get on him, then y'all know I'm gonna get on y'all. That sends a message. They be like, damn, he just ripped so out. I better get on my square. Yeah, it sends a message. It definitely sends a message. But you get some players, you get some coaches where players can't do no wrong. How is a coach? Do you bounce? Do you bounce that, there's an elite level player on your team? How do you coach that play without showing favoritism and ignoring? I just told you, you stay on them. You coach them hard. Mistakes, he makes them. You call them on it. It's like you call everybody else up on it. You call them up on it. You coach them up on it to correct it. Boom. You know what I'm saying? You break them down and you build them right back up in the next breath. You know what I'm saying? And you show love to everybody equally. If I'm gonna give my favorite constructive criticism, I'm giving everybody the same constructive criticism. That's how it's like, oh, you got no favorites because I treat all y'all the same. I cuss you out. I tell you I put foot in ass, put foot in your ass. Yeah, pardon my French. Yeah, everybody gets treated the same. Period. You do good, show you love. Great job. You mess up, yo, what are you doing? Get your this is your technique. No, you're supposed to here. This is how we fix it. Boom, same breath. Come on, you better than that. Let's go. I know, I believe in you. We here. Lock in. See how I did that? I broke them down and I built them back up just like that. That's how I do it. And that's why players that I've coached and that I've worked out with, that's why they rock with me. Because it's not one way with me. Yeah, Coach Saban was good at that. I think Coach Mario's great at that too. You know what I'm saying? He's great at that. You at one point you trying to get players not to read their own press clippings so much, and get full of themselves. You don't want that, because when they get full of themselves, some of them, the hunger leaves, the will to be great, to pay attention to detail. They think they arrived, so they walk around, like they the ish, they above their teammates. I've seen it before recently. You know what I mean? When you got teammates saying certain players aren't good teammates because they think they better than everybody. Nah, you will knock that out the park. Nip that in the bud from the rip. Because you don't want nothing destroying the chemistry or bring down the team. You know what I mean? Now, if you got a player that's passionate, love the game, and expect everybody to play how hard they playing, ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? Each one, teach one. We're only as good as the weakest link, and you shouldn't have no weak links on your squad. You know what I'm saying? So, but I definitely think Miami is prime and poised for another big year. And I hope all these analysts, put us 7th, 5th, 10th, 11th, 100th, whatever. I want us to be doubted. Continue to doubt. That's what I want. I like to be the underdog. I love it. I love to be the underdog. You know what I'm saying? And I love how Coach Mario and the staff got these boys right now. He got them hungry, like a pack of wild Rockwallers. You know what I'm saying? Just nipping at the bud to get back out on that grass. You know what I'm saying? So I can't wait. I say, Black, I'm sticking to what I've been saying. I think Dante Wright is just the beginning. I think Tony Jefferson is gonna be able to get. Yeah, I'm with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely with you on that. You know what I mean? I'm definitely with you on that. I like Terry Jefferson. I'm glad he was been promoted. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad he's been promoted. You know what I mean? He's been working with them. So, and it's that camaraderie. You know what I'm saying? That camaraderie and that familiarity with the players and the players with the coach. So they know what to expect from him. and he knows what he's gonna get out of them. So to me, I love it. You know what I'm saying? I love it. Like I said last year, I loved when D. Lou came back home and he proved who he was and what he did for that other school out the Midwest with their D line, improving their pass rush. And he came back home, you know, where it all started for him to improve our middle of the defensive play, our D tackle play. And it's only going to get better. The recruiting only going to get better. And trust me, I'm expecting a big year. I can't wait. You know, I mean, I got football galore, you know, a college team. Well, I got 3 college teams now, you know, Miami, Western Carolina, and wherever school my younger son chooses. So, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you know, hopefully my forever team, the Canes, hope we win a natty this year with a Heisman Trophy winner. Hopefully my other team make it to the playoffs, make a long run into the playoffs. You feel me? What up, Kane Thug? You feel me? And my other son's school, hope they make it to their division playoff. So, you know, a lot of things are looking up over here. As much as things has been on a real downward, you know, down. There's been a lot of things going, not going your boys' way this year. But I've been able to keep my head up and keep moving, you know what I'm saying? And it didn't help that my you know, I call him my third son, my fourth child, you know, Zulu passed away. So that hasn't been easy, you know, just coming home and just seeing him like that, you know. So, you know, that hasn't been easy. And, you know, not knowing that, you know, knowing that my sons will be going off back to school and just being here by myself without having my guy with me, you know, my road dog, my partner, you know what I mean? It's hurt, you know, it's depressing, you know what I'm saying? It's real depressing without Zulu being here. You know what I'm saying? That was my guy. You know what I'm saying? That was my guy. So that hurt. It still hurt. You know what I mean? If you ain't an animal lover or dog lover, you ain't gonna understand. You know what I mean? You'll just be like, oh, it's just a dog. Get over it. Nah, that's family. That was my son. I had him since he was 8 weeks. He was about this big. When I was living in D.C., Maryland, I used to sneak him in my apartment in a book bag because we couldn't have dogs. I used to sneak him in with a book bag, right? This is before I got, you know, registered him as an emotional support animal where he was able to be there. I used to sneak him in a book bag, right? Sneak him in. Then one day I tried to put him in and he wouldn't fit because he got bigger. So I was like, I had to put him in like this gym duffel bag. Then one day I was like, man, I ain't going through all this because now you bigger and you squirming and moving. I was like, man, I'm just gonna let you walk on in. Like, had that dude since he was 8 weeks, man. We the only family he know that he knew, you know what I'm saying? And that was my guy. You know, I ain't have to worry about nothing, you know what I'm saying? Middle of the night, somebody walk past or he alert me, he barking. So now it just feels funny not having that. And I know when I come home from work, he know my car. He can hear my car pull up and me shut the door, and I hear him bark. So when I about to get to the door, hear my keys rattle, he barking. Open the door, yo, Dad, what's up? Yeah, I've been holding this piss. So hurry up, put your stuff down, get my leash, take me outside so I can relieve myself. So I still be anticipating hearing that bark when I come home and I walk in and it's silence. You know what I'm saying? It's like the air is just still, you know, because it's a void. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely a void there with him not here. So, you know, I got to try to find me another Zulu to fill that void, especially since my boys are going to be going. And yeah, man, I'm gonna need something else to do. So if I give me another joint, you know, I want a Rottweiler, a German Rottweiler. So if I give me another joint, that'll give me something to do, because you know I'll be training him and stuff, and then I'll call my man who's a K9 cop back in DC to get more information and pointers of to train because I watched him train Zulu. So I still remember everything he did with Zulu. So I'm gonna do all of that, but then I wanna learn more protection stuff. You know what I'm saying? Bite on command and stuff like that. Just I'm gonna learn protection stuff, and he's great at that because he's a canine cop. You know what I mean? So he does all of that. But it just feels, it just feels weird. You know what I mean? It feels weird. Like I said, like it'd be nights where he'll come in my room and he'll make a sound. He'll go, like basically tell me like, yo, I want to jump up in the bed. And I was like, wake up, be like 2 a.m. I'm like, yo, what do you want, man? And he was like, I'm like, all right, man, get up here, jump up in the bed. So I swear, like, since he been going, like periodically, I would hear that sound and I would wake up. And like one night I was like, man, Zulu, just come on, man. Realizing like, yo, he ain't even here. And then one night I woke up and I looked out in the living room and I swore I saw him walk by. It's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. But like, yo, he was family. He was part of the family. You know what I mean? That was my son. You know what I'm saying? He was brothers to my sons. And like, yeah, man, if you never had a dog or a pet and you lost them, you ain't gonna understand, yo. And dogs are just, once again, loyal. Dogs are loyal. They forgive you for everything. You know what I'm saying? As long as you treat them good, you bust that ass when, certain who's the alpha, but they forgive for everything, they forgive you for everything. So gotta get me a new one, you know what I'm saying? Zulu was an American Bulldog. So I want a Rottweiler now. I'm also gonna name that dog Zulu. The only time I'm gonna name a dog a different name is if I have 2 at the same time. So say I get a Roddy, right? A boy, he'll be Zulu. And if I get a female Roddy, she'll get a different name. You know what I'm saying? She'll get a different name. And that's how I do it. But yeah, man, Zulu not being here, it's just funny. Everybody, both my boys, they feel it. They're like, yeah, Dad, it just feels different without Zulu being here. Because Zulu was a character. Those who know in the Discord or, you know what I'm saying, speak to, on the phone, they would hear me and Zulu playing around. They know. They would hear him. So it's just weird. But, man, I wish I had my notebook because I was really about to get in on the statistics and the percentage of, of African people in those countries. You know what I'm saying? But I can't find it. But I'm going to find it. So when I come back, you know what I'm saying, I'll probably do a show probably next week. I was going to do one on Malcolm X's birthday, May 19th. But I got to work late that night. So I don't know if I ain't going to be able to do it. I ain't going to be able to do it in the spirit of Brother Malcolm, I don't know. I might do a little something maybe, but if not, it'll definitely be that weekend. No, it'll be that weekend. I'll do a show. Try to do something fun, different topics. You know what I'm saying? See if I get some guests to talk about, top five of all time positions. Quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, DBs, D tackles, things like that. Interactive, make it fun. You know what I'm saying? We'll make it fun. I said, brother, I get some French Bulldogs. Oh, okay. Them Frenchies, man. Them Frenchies be some loot. Them things cost some money. Did you see the Sus interview with Mark Matthews? I think we dodged a bullet. Sorry for your loss. And Kane thing, appreciate that, man. Appreciate it. I did see his commitment and all that over the top. To me, it was a little over the top. I understand you excited and you got every right to be. You just committed to, you just fulfilled a lifelong dream, right? You just fulfilled a lifelong dream. Cool, but tone it down a little bit because you never know them other schools that you kind of rejected on stage, they may take it as disrespect and that you burned the bridge, and you never want to do that because say you go to Texas A&M and it don't pan out how you thought it was, and say you want to transfer back home to Miami, they may remember today or yesterday when you committed and look at that as disrespect and tell you, now we're good. Then again, maybe not, but you know what I'm saying? You never want to burn a bridge. You gotta think business. This is a business now. It's savvy. You gotta think business. You gotta think business. I have 2 cane Corsos, but my pit was my old yellow, hard to feel. That, bruh, I'm with you. I'm with you. I like cane Corsos too. I like Pressa Canarians also. Yeah, I like them too. I like them as well. But yeah, man. But shout out to him, man. He's going out there. Pretty sure his NIL package is legit, nice and hefty. You know, go out there and make a name for himself. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, you know. But I'm not worried because I got Coach Mario and Coach Mirabal, so I ain't worried. You know what I'm saying? Would it been a good get? Of course. Of course. You could never have too many. You could never have too many top flight offensive linemen. You could never have too many of them in your room, right? You never have too many. But I'm not gonna cry over it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna cry over it. And I'm not gonna ridicule him either. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna talk bad about the young man because he didn't come to Miami. I'm not gonna do that either. So, you know, he chose Texas A&M. Cool. Now he has to live with it for however long he stays there. You know what I'm saying? He has to live with it. That's his choice. That's the decision he made. He chose to be an Aggie. Cool. I mean, chose to be an Aggie, but, you know, if I'm not mistaken, our D-line whipped the O-line in that playoff game. And I think we would have done. I think we might have. I think if the wind wasn't as bad, the weather wasn't like it was, I don't even think that game is close. I think we walked right through them dudes. But that's neither here nor there. We still got the W. That's all that matters. But, you know, a new year, new outcome, you know, hey, I know our coach is better than theirs. I know that. I know our O-line coach is better than theirs. I know that. I know our quarterback is better than theirs. I know that. I know our running back room is better than theirs. I know that. I know our receiving room is better than theirs. I know that. Right? Yeah. I know our D-line is better than theirs. I know that. I know our secondary is better than theirs. Yeah. So, I mean, but you know, you chose A&M. It's good. It's cool. Maybe we'll see you in the playoffs. You know, maybe you'll play as a true freshman. You get to go up against Lightfoot or Wilson or Moten or Scott or Blunt. You know what I mean? Or Hayden, you know? Or DJ. Well, DJ's next year. DJ's next year. But I agree with that. I think we do also. I do think we flip him. But I mean, look, man, you gotta go where you feel wanted. You gotta go where you feel you got a better opportunity to play, I guess. You know, I don't know. Maybe everybody's getting paid. So we can't say, well, they paid you. Well, everybody's getting paid. So it ain't about the money to I guess to a lesser degree or whatever. You know, maybe they paid you to commit. I don't know. But what I do know is you chose A&M. Go be great, young man. Go be great. And in 3 or 4 years, you got opportunity to put your family in a different tax bracket. You know what I'm saying? By making it to the ultimate goal is getting your degree first and foremost, and then making it to the league. So, go be great. You know what I mean? Go be great. No more talk. Go to work because you still got your senior year to play. Go be great. You know what I'm saying? Go be great. That's all I can say about that. And that's probably all I will say about a non-Miami commit. They don't need to spend time on that because he's not here. So there. But I do like the commitments that we do have up until this point. You know what I'm saying? I like that running back commit. You know, his running style reminds me of Jarvis James. That little forward lean. He reminds me of Jarvis James a lot. He does. If y'all remember Jarvis James, that's who he reminds me of. So go back and watch his tape, and then go back and watch some Jarvis James highlights. That's who he reminds me of. For real, for real. But yeah, man, I told you I'll be all over the place, you know what I'm saying, today. Well, that's what ABLAKK Thought is, you know what I'm saying? ABLAKK Thought is just my thoughts on things. I'm all over the place. I'm gonna give you a little football, I'm gonna give you a little history, I'm gonna give you a little politics, a little bit. I'm gonna give you a little bit of everything. You feel me? I'm not the recruiting guru, you know what I'm saying? So all I'm gonna talk about is the recruits that committed to us. You know what I mean? I can't tell you who I think is gonna commit next. I'm not locked in like that. I don't have that. You know what I'm saying? I don't have no inside connections like that. You know what I mean? I'm not at practice like that. You know what I mean? Matter of fact, I'm never at practice because I don't live down there. So, you know what I mean? But no, but I know people who get information, you know what I'm saying? You know, good information or intel or who they think might commit or who we're looking at or who we're on and stuff like that. So, but, you know, once they commit, I'll tell you like what I think about a player. I'll break his game down. You know, like my man Goon, he always send me running backs and DBs, you know what I mean, to break them down and what I think, stuff like that. So, you know, that's what I do. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But yo, family, I need y'all to hit the like button, subscribe, turn your post notifications on, and please hit the like button. And please, if you can, help the channel out. Hit the Cash App right there. My Cash App is right there. $ ABLAKK, no C, 2Ks, 21. Hit the Cash App so we can build the channel. You know what I'm saying? Help us get viewership. We're trying to get to the point where our channel is monetized so we can, you know, accept super chats and things like that. Just offer the hard work, you know, just offer y'all support, you know what I mean? And we definitely gonna be here more. You know, I know a lot of our faithful always, you know, they enjoy our content. They enjoy seeing my brother Groove. You know, he's off now being a dad, enjoying fatherhood. You know what I'm saying? So that's cool. But my word, when the season comes, trust me, we're going to try to do 2 shows a week. If not 2, definitely 1 a week. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, we may even try a live show during the game to get live reactions from us. You know what I'm saying? As we watch the game. So that's something we're going to talk about. We're also talking about just growing the channel, right? Just growing the channel, you know, because we know there's some cats that like to talk shop. So we might want to build a bigger brand, a bigger storm warning brand, and have other shows up underneath that storm warning umbrella. So just things we're talking about. Me and Groove talking about getting merch, you know, hats and hoodies, storm warning hoodies and stuff like that. But I also got Protect the King merch. I got a hoodie. Let me show you. So we got the Protect the King merch right here, hoodies. You know what I mean? You could get them in different colors. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't have to be black. You know what I mean? And we also got another Protect the King design that we're working on. So I'm not sure if they $25 or $30. Yeah, I'm not sure what we settled on as a price, but you know, if y'all want, y'all can hit me up. Y'all can hit me up in the email if you want one. Let me see. I'll put the email down in the chat. Let me get it. Oh yeah, Kane's thing, appreciate it. Yeah, I'm back, baby. I'm back. So once again, here it is right here. Protect the King. You know, we got the Protect the King movement off of the video of me and my son last year that went viral. So, you know, Protect the King. So the email is down in the chat, you know, for those, you know, who want one, you know what I'm saying? And once I figure out we're going 25 or 30, you know, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, you can get them in any color you want. If you wanted orange for the Kings, dark green, you know, white, gray, blue, black, red, whatever, you know what I'm saying? You know, here you go. Right here. Protect the King merch. Appreciate you. But yeah, we back. Let the others know, you know, we back. We back. And like I said, during the season, gonna be trying definitely gonna give you one at least 2 shows a week, even if it's just me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna come up and just, you know, give you a little something, preview of the week, next opponent, and just talk about the previous game or talk about recruiting or whatever, or just to get up here and talk about all of that, talk about my sons and how they doing and things like that, just to, you know, keep y'all abreast of what's going on in Black's world. You feel me? What's going on in Black's world, you know? So like I just told you, I just lost my dog. You know what I'm saying? Just lost my dog. So yeah, you know, it's all good though. You know what I'm saying? It's all good. I'm a soldier. So, you know, but I appreciate y'all tuning in, you know. So the Rewatch Squad, please make sure y'all hit the like button so that they know that y'all are real people and that y'all not that y'all not bots, robots. You know what I'm saying? And know this ain't no AI. You know, so please, you know, hit the like button. That's free. You know what I'm saying? That helps, you know, the algorithms help us, you know, it just helps the channel. You know, subscribe and hit your notification and tell a Kane that Storm Warning is back in the game. You feel me? Oh, I like that. Tell a Kane that the Storm Warning show is back in the game. Oh yeah, I love that. I love that. And on that note right there, I'm gonna say peace, fam. And remember one thing. It's always about the you. Enjoy your weekend. Love y'all. Black out.